Good evening, one and all. Welcome to Leaders Connect, an online leadership community where leaders create more leaders. A CSR initiative by Vija Training and organized by the Mask Leadership. My name is Nalinayagam, Senior Manager Quality from Verlicon Friction System India Limited, Chennai. Leaders Connect is started with a specific objective of inviting 1,000 plus leaders and create 1,000,000 leaders, where all the working professionals and the business people share their real-time challenges, either leading self, leading others, or leading the business. On our website, www.themaskleadership.com, we see all the challenges, filter them, and every week on Wednesday, we invite a top management leader from a corporate company who will be giving us solutions for our real-time challenges on leadership. That's when we call us leaders create more leaders. Currently, all are muted, and we will be giving you an opportunity to speak to our guest, Dr. Sunita Chugh, founder of CE EE. But before that, let me also share that we are currently live on Facebook, and this episode LC078 is being recorded. For the visitors who are joining the first time, you may also click on the WhatsApp, Facebook, and LinkedIn link on the chat box to get an update on weekly basis and join us in creating more leaders. Also, we request all our members and visitors to turn on your videos to see your smiling faces, which will help us making the episode highly interactive. So, are we all ready to interact with our guest, Dr. Sunita Chugh, on the topic learning to unlearning? Then please type yes in the chat box. Thank you. But before the introduction of the guest, let me also take the privilege to introduce the founder of the Leaders Connect, Mr. Prakash Sharma, who will have the interaction with our guest along with our panel discussion leader, Mr. Yugandhar. I shall welcome all over to Mr. Prakash Sharma, sir.
Thank you very much, Nalinayagam. That's an awesome introduction which you have done. And welcome all the leaders here for the Leaders Connect 360 episode 078, as Nalay has already shared. And we welcome Dr. Sunita Chugh. It's a great warm welcome which we have, ma'am. Thank you very much for accepting and being in here for this platform in creating more and more leaders. So without taking much time from my side, I would only share that let's quickly go ahead and welcome Dr. Sunita Chugh through a video introduction. And then Sunita Chugh, I'll also introduce you to a panel discussion leader, Mr. Yugandhar as well. So over to your professional video introduction of Dr. Sunita Chugh. That's an awesome introduction. Thanks very much, Manish and Arul, for that video. And all the members type in welcome Dr. Sunita as well as Mr. Yugandhar. So yes, Dr. Sunita, we welcome you, ma'am. You're given an option to unmute, Dr. Sunita. I believe you're able to unmute yourself.
Thank you so much for this warm welcome, lovely video, waiting to be questioned by people. I'm just so ready for the session. I know it's a short session and we already have spent some time in introductions. Congratulations, you all are doing some amazing work. This is powerful. Yeah, connecting leaders and ensuring that leaders create more leaders is the only way out.
True. Thanks very much, Dr. Sunita, for sharing it. And as you said, so all the members and visitors here for the first time, Today's specific topic is learning to unlearning. And we all are aware that leaders needs to actually unlearn as well. And that's when the growth comes. But yeah, we are all aware that we need to unlearn, but how and why do we need to unlearn? So all those aspects is where the discussion between Sunita and Yugandhar is going to be happening today. So let me also take the privilege to introduce Yugandhar. Yugandhar is the HR from Everest IMS Technologies here. And Yugandhar has also been a background of experience in HR, gamut of experience in HR. And Yugandhar, over to you for a quick panel discussion along with Ms. Dr. Sunita.
Thank you, Prakash, and thank you, Dr. Sunita, for taking your time and joining the session in your busy schedule.
Thank you.
And we welcome all the participants as well as the guests for today.
Thank you so much for this. Yes, Yugandhar. I'm so excited about the panel discussion.
Sure. Same here. Yeah. So we got some couple of questions for you, Dr. Sunita. Like the first thing would be like, may we know in your view, what is learning to unlearning and why a leader needs to unlearn?
In the presence of Saraswati, if I may say, it's very important to create space for her. She is solid and she arrives in very big ways, in very subtle ways. So if we don't have space to pick up something new, how can we claim that we are changing or we are wanting to become new or we want to learn something? How can we even begin to claim that learning is important if we are not ready to accept that we don't know, or we're not ready to accept that there is some room for new knowledge or new learning or new information? It could be something very small or something very big. But if you don't accept that there is room, like even for this session, I think it was only 45 minutes. It was a different format and I haven't done work in this format before. I mean, one had to prepare, right? Because you want to make the impact in 45 minutes. And today the mind span is so little that if you don't have your audience in the first minute, you've lost them. That's my take, Yugandhar. I don't know if you're satisfied with it, but that is my feeling. That's my thought.
That's great. Yeah, as rightly said, like that we need to have a space for learning. That is correct. And thank you for throwing some light on that. And just would like to go with another question like, in reality, the moment we see certain words, which I am aware, mind immediately sends signal and we judge that we know. So how do we unlearn? Is there any process or any example which you would like to quote to help us understand better?
The simplest example, and I really haven't prepared for these questions, it's coming out very spontaneously because I wanted it to be a very natural and alive sort of a session. I've also noticed that I don't learn very well when somebody speaks in a very rehearsed way or in a very mechanical way. Then it is better to go for artificial intelligence. It is better to go for machine learning. It's better to go for something which is not spontaneous. So intellect requires a spontaneity, you know, to grab, to attract. So your question is very nice because as soon as I hear something familiar, I will then start linking up and building some association, and then I go back into the old. I get dragged into the old. So new cannot happen if I'm getting dragged into something old, Yugandhar. So that's a very powerful question you're asking. The metaphor that is coming to my mind is a computer. You know, when I reboot it, I start afresh. When I open my computer in the morning, it is afresh. So for me, one of the things that I learned from my teachers at MDI Gurgaon when I was studying for PhD, and I remember one word called tabula rasa. It is a beginner's mind. And to have a beginner's mind is really tricky for leaders because Yugandhar, when I meet you next time, I already think I know you. But as they say, you don't dip in the same river twice. The river is flowing. Even if you dip twice, second time, it's a new river. So I cannot claim that I know you, Yugandhar. So next time when I meet you, let's say by the end of the day, or let's say tomorrow, I cannot go back to how I met you earlier. So how can I go back to that earlier time and say that I know Yugandhar? So the word tabula rasa is important because I meet you with a beginner's mind. Each time I meet you, each time I meet some information, I go on a clean slate. It's almost like take a slate, wipe it out, have a new beginning. So when you learn in that fashion, you don't get stuck in the past. I mean, I can give an example. I started my career in Crompton Greaves, as even your video said, and I was an MBA from Narsi Munji and a rank holder. I thought I knew everything. When I joined Crompton Greaves shop floor and I met workers who had been working in building transformers for 30 years and 40 years, and people, workers had careers like that at that time, you know, and experts. I mean, they were just superb. No IIT Delhi, Mumbai supervisor could control them because they were really experts at what they did. And when I went there, what I understood was, oh, I've been trained in MMS, Masters in Management Studies. I know a little bit of personnel management. I think I know everything. I know how to manage people and I get in. But after that, we didn't know how HR hit, Japanese techniques hit, IR hit us. HR came into HRM happened, HRD happened, HRD for productivity happened, OB happened, OD happened, and suddenly you see the same personnel management mindset. If I'm sitting with that mindset right now in this session, I don't think you would have even invited me if you read my profile as Crompton Greaves personnel manager with personnel management knowledge. Now, somebody cynical may say it's an old knowledge in a new bottle. We have reframed everything because people management remains essentially the same. But the point is that if you're not able to be with the new knowledge or be with the new information or with the new ways of learning, you're out. I mean, we didn't even have a computer in when I was doing personnel management, when I was doing my MBA. And then to crack the MDI exam, I had to give an online test. And in the online test, you see the paper pencil was not there. It was a computer. And you're giving it 15 years later and you don't know how to crack and get admission. Just too many examples in my mind right now, but I will stop here because if you don't go with a beginner's mind, you are out. Old knowledge is not enough in the now. You have to be in the present and in the now.
That's great. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. And I would like to recollect, like always, you should be natural. That is what it's most important. That is true. Yeah. And we always need to reboot. Okay, so like how we reboot our computer, like that we need to reboot our mind. Like daily we need to reboot. Then we need to have a tabula rasa, that is beginner's mind. That is good. And one more thing, like wipe it out, the whole thing, and do new learning. And as also one more example, like old knowledge is in new bottle. So thank you for throwing all the insights. And would like to go with the third question. That yeah, again, there is another word called relearn. How is it different from unlearning?
Simply put, unlearning requires wiping the slate. Yeah, Yugandhar, you have to confront, you have to contemplate, you have to reflect, you have to ask. And as a leader, I'm really saying this as a leader. My work is in the space of leadership development for the last 3 decades. And I understand that building leadership is not easy because it requires a sort of a confrontative, aggressive, result orientation. You need an outcome at the end of the day. And if you're trying to get an outcome and you are relearning on the job, if you're just revising, let's say I did my homework, and let's say we are back in school, I did my homework yesterday, and I came into this classroom with my homework, and then I am trying to revise that, and I'm getting stuck with that revision. That is relearning. You know, I'm revising it right now so that I can say the right thing. But in the now, in the pressures that we have with VUCA and the kind of complexity and ambiguity that we are and uncertainty that we are in constantly, it's almost like as if on the ground things are changing as we talk. And let's say right now my computer goes off. What's my backup plan? Right now, if the light goes off, what's my plan? So you don't know what uncertainty and ambiguity you'll be hit by, what complexity you'll be hit by. And the VUCA is making you be very much on the edge and in the now. And if you have to be in the now as a leader, you have no time for relearning anything. You cannot relearn anything. You better unlearn. So my stand is that you better unlearn what you did wrong last time, or what you were not able to handle last time, or let's say you had some difficulty in some complexity. Yeah, face it. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. So the next time you go, you don't start relearning things. You just unlearn and become ready every day. Reboot and become ready every day. You don't know what now is going to be. Now cannot be known. Now is only now. It's unknown. So a leader knows the way, goes the way, shows the way, so simply said. But how can he know the way, and how can he go the way, and how can he show the way to others? If he knew it, very well, people, it would be rehearsed, it would be planned, it would be orchestrated. He's going into unknown every moment, and that's how he keeps inspiring people. He cannot inspire people with the old. People won't follow him. The inspiration will be missing. So for somebody to go, how much ever planning you do, how much ever strategy you do, Yugandhar, do things happen in the same way? No, something uncertainty can hit you in any moment. And today more than ever before, did we know pandemic? Did we know how to deal with it? I mean, look at us talking like this as if I'm sitting with you in the same room. I mean, it's taken us 2 years to learn this, to get this comfortable. It's taken us a lot of work. So all I'm trying to say in a nutshell is really, it is not possible to, it's just not possible to get there with old. For new, you have to deal with uncertainty. You have to stretch yourself. You have to get out of your comfort zone. There's no other way a leader can be a leader, and there's no other way a leader can inspire. Long answers I'm giving you, Yugandhar. Sorry for that.
No. In fact, it is useful to most of our audience because a lot of the things are coming to light, and it is in fact useful for us in this uncertain time, in this VUCA world. Yeah, so it is always to have plan B, and before relearning, we should unlearn. Then only we need to go for unlearning. And being a leader, we always need to come out of the comfort zone and do the unlearning. So that is how we can scale up in the career. So thank you for sharing all the thoughts for this. And here we go with one more question. Like as a true leader, where we need to spend most of our time? Is it knowing the unknown or unlearning the known to relearn?
If you stick to the known, that means your risk appetite is low. And if you truly want to, and I don't think I meant have a plan B, I may have said it like that, and sorry for creating that misunderstanding. But when you jump off the cliff and you build your wings along the way, you know that you will land. And a leader usually has high risk appetite. The leap of faith, as we say, into the unknown is very high for a leader. Because a leader, if he wants to innovate or do something new, he has to move into the dark, into the unknown part. He or she cannot stay with known and comfortable. But yes, I know leaders who have low risk appetite and who stay with the tried and true, and they build. So at certain times of your businesses, you may have to consolidate and be stable and stick to the known. And at certain times, you'll have to stretch and go with the unknown. So this point about what is the binary, I'm not able to answer, Yugandhar, because I don't really look at life binary, but yes, some of us do stick to the known. Like, for example, I teach leadership and I don't teach anything else. I teach leadership and I get into different angles of leadership. So I may say that's a core safe zone or sphere of influence. Now, beyond that, if somebody says, why don't you teach how to do digital learning? I may be a failure because that is very far from, I can't create an e-learning module for leadership. It will be hard for me. But maybe if I work with you, we can create a model. If I work with Prakash, we can create a module, but not alone. So this whole leader piece, I want to break it down into two parts. One is this whole heroic leader, and the other is one who is able to work with people. in learning, it's also very important to, I know I'm going a little digressing a little bit, but it's also important to learn to work with whoever is there with you. And take that person along with you and take that team along with you. It's so important. But then these things are much talked about. I'm sure Prakash talks about it also in leadership. They're much talked about, but very difficult to do. So that's where I am. Known and unknown, tried and tested, and something new. It's really hard. But I do feel for change to happen, I'll make a summary point. Yeah, for change to happen, the focus has to be sharply on the new and not on the old. For any change to happen. And this I have read years ago, Socrates quote, but I believe in it completely. The amount of attention you put on the old will only derail you from the new, from moving into the new zone. And learning and leadership is synonymous. I mean, you can't be a leader without learning. So I guess that's the whole rationale for having this topic. Yes, Yugandhar, I don't know how much I have said and what I have said. Tell me what I have said.
Okay. So yeah, before that, I would like to understand like where we need to spend most of our time in the leadership part.
I think with the unknown. I would say even if I break it down into conscious and unconscious, if I ask Selvaraj, how much time do you spend in reflection? David Selvaraj, how much time do you spend by yourself? How much time do you spend in meditation? How much time do you spend in building your stamina? If the answer is going to be, I spend very little time, then he's spending very little time with himself. How can he influence and inspire others? But if he tells me he is bringing in his inner wisdom and inspiring others, then I mean, as a leader, he can only inspire through himself, through his body, his mind, his knowing. It's not out there in the computer. Okay. It's not out there. The new is not out there. Whatever is there in the computer is old. Okay. So if he or she or I am banking on that, then I cannot bring it. So my wisdom is not there. Then it's only information. How can I tell you, Yugandhar, even if I ask you, who's a learned person? Who will you consider learned? You're not going to say somebody who's opening the book and saying, you know, okay, this is learning to unlearning. No, you will not. So that's why I've made that example of Selvaraj David. And I said, yes, if he's reflected, if he's meditated, if he knows the subject, then he knows his people. He's thought about them. Why is there so much attrition in my company? Why is there so much, why so many people are leaving my company? He's thought about it. He's confronting himself as a leader. Okay. He's taking responsibility. There's a skin in the game. I hope I'm making sense. It's not
Yeah, very much.
So it's more with the unknown, more with the unconscious, because conscious and overt is everyone knows. What is out there, everyone knows. How are you different? You are different as a leader because you're working with the unconscious. You're working with what is not conscious, what is not present right now. Okay. Thank you for pushing me.
Yeah, so as rightly said, like, so leaders should have a risk of high appetite, then either heroic or able to work with leader. And always we should be unconscious. So that is where from that unconsciousness, we can learn a lot of learning can happen. So rightly said, and in fact, it was a lot of examples and real-time examples where we can understand a lot from the insights for you. So that's it from my end. So I would like to hand over the session to Mr. Prakash for any further questions.
Thank you very much, Yugandhar. It was awesome questions which you've asked. Dr. Sunita, and awesome Sunita, wonderful responses. The reality, I'm able to sense you're speaking from the heart directly. All your wisdom is actually seen in this couple of minutes, which has been shared and you're discussing about it. It's really been an awesome interaction. Wonderful. So great, Dr. Sunita. So we have now, thanks. And thanks, Yugandhar, for the questions as well. So Sunita, now we have a small quiz. So whatever we have shared so far is where we're going to ask a small quiz to all our members and visitors. And then is where we'll be having more open questions to you and Yugandhar as well. Yeah. So we'll just take 2 minutes, Sunita, and then be back again. So before we share, so members and visitors who are here, so and all the leaders, we also want to share with you on the chat box, Dr. Sunita Chugh's LinkedIn ID, and people who prefer to stay connected to her LinkedIn. Please stay connected to her LinkedIn ID. On the chat box, you can see Dr. Sunita Chugh's LinkedIn ID, so you can stay connected. And for all that, what we have discussed now and understood on the specific topic, learning to unlearning. That's been a great journey where Dr. Sunita shared a wide range of experience and wisdom. And Sendil has answered one particular question of what she was asking. Yeah, Sendil rightly said, person who is ready to unlearn is the learned person. Okay, that's very rightly put, Sendil. Thanks very much for sharing your viewpoints as well as there. Good. So to share the quiz question, so for all the members, after the quiz is where you have an opportunity for open questions to Dr. Sunita. So the two ways of asking questions, either you can raise your hand and we give an opportunity to unmute you and you can ask a question directly to Sunita. Or if you wish to type your question in the chat box and we take the question on your behalf and we ask it to her. But before the open questions, now is the option for the quiz first. So for the quiz, I would request or I would invite Ms. Archana Sriram here, who is the HR from Kriya Docs. So over to you, Archana, for a quick quiz.
Thank you, Prakash sir. Thank you, Prakash sir. So good evening, everybody. My question is going to be in the chat box. So I hope everybody has that open already. And on the count of 5, I'm going to post that question. The questions are based on the interaction which we had with Dr. Sunita right now. And if I might put it out there, if I might put it right, then based on the interaction, it was all very spontaneous from your end. So maybe the question will also fall for you as well. So you would be surprised that something like this is actually said by you. All right, so please keep the chat box open. On the count of 5, the question will come out in the chat box. It is going to be a multiple choice, but a little bit of thinking of multiple choice. So you have to select which questions are the right ones, which statements are the right ones, sorry. Yes, so on the count of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There you go. So statement 1, if you don't go with a beginner's mind, then you're out. Statement 2, intellect is in spontaneity. Statement 3, focus on old for changes to happen. So these are the 4 options. A is statement 1 and 2 is right. B is statement 2 and 3 is right. C is statement 1 and 3 is right. And statement D is statement 1, 2, and 3 are right. So what is the right one? So this time I had the option to complete the questions. Okay, so Sendil has come up with option D. Okay, I'm waiting for answers. Dev Ryan has come out with B. Prakash has come out with D. I hope you're not thinking on this, Dr. Sunita.
I'm also thinking, and I'm thinking I have to repeat my whole sentence again. The whole session I have to repeat again. All of you, there's only one right answer so far. Yeah, we can give the prize.
Okay, all right.
We had even the recording also.
I raised the bar this time. So this time we had very tough questions.
No, there are some right answers. No, there are some right answers. Quite a few right answers. Yes.
All right. So, so we have the correct answer as statement 1 and 2 are right. So that is option B. Sorry, option
A.
Sorry, option A is right. So I think the first one to say that was Dev Ryan.
Who is the first person? Vinay.
No, I have D.
No, Vinay said it first. Vinay is the first person to say A.
Oh, I got that later. Before.
Oh, no. Narayan has said it as 1. Yeah. Instead of A, he has said it as 1. Yes, that's the correct answer. Yes.
Yeah. So I actually I meant 1, but instead of A. But anyway, Vinay, you can give it to Vinay because he has spelled it out right.
No. Devaran has written it first, please. Yes.
Great.
Well, that's also a quality of leader. So leader has to think very well. So.
Very rightly said.
Okay, so well, I leave it to your call now. So
no, because Archana, if this was a computer, then Devarayan's answer would have been deleted automatically because he's written 1, right? So if it was a machine which was calculating this, he would have been marked wrong.
Okay.
But here, Dr. Sunita, we have a human touch here. So.
Exactly. And that's why I feel he should be given. Thank you, Prakash.
to turn off the video. Please take the call. The answer.
It's getting very hot. We are waiting for the next question.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We have only one question.
Only one. So that's how we take it up.
Okay.
Good,
No,
good.
but
Thanks very
Devarayan,
much.
I would say we have a human touch, Prakash, and I agree with you.
Yes, yes, definitely. That really adds a lot of value. And thank you very much, Archana, for this taking this role of a quiz leader. An awesome question which has been asked. And yes, thank you very much, Devarayan, and congratulations, Devarayan. So all the members, visitors, and leaders, congrats, Devarayan. And Devarayan, yes, you are going to get the Master Leadership 360-degree assessment as complimentary. Congratulations, Devarayan, for taking up this quiz question. Wonderful, wonderful. Great. So, members and visitors, now is the time for the open questions to Dr. Sunita, as well as even for Yugandhar, you can ask. So, open ways questions are there. So, we have already one hand raised from Mr. Sendil Kumar. Question, I believe, is ready from Mr. Sendil to ask. So, Sendil, you have a question, right? So, I'm going to unmute you. And then after this, who all have any questions, kindly raise your hand. Then we'll give you an option to unmute. I'll type your question in the chat box and we take it up. So yes, Sendil, over to you.
Thank you very much, Prakash, to unmute me and giving me this opportunity. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sendil from HR L&D in Daimler India Commercial Vehicle. The question here is, maybe I take this privilege to appreciate the doctor for giving us this deeper insight on this session. But my question is not related to today's context. My question is related to the PhD degree where Madam has already done on organizational development. So we are actually, a question is, I would like to understand, or we're curious to understand how is organizational development differs from the organizational excellence. What exactly we mean this as organizational development?
Oh,
Either
it's very, yeah,
like retaining the talented people, or overcoming the retention, or what exactly it means as organizational development? How is this different from organizational excellence?
So excellence, my understanding of excellence is, if we have a 7 stages of consciousness, excellence is the 3rd stage of consciousness. You want to be the best, right? You want to really be excellent at something. And for lack of a better word, I'm using Barrett's theory of consciousness, where I'm saying excellence as a value is being the best. For example, I'm trying to do my best here in answering questions. So that is excellence. Now, when we talk about OD, we talk about organization development. It's a field of knowledge which is about where the unit of assessment, understanding, learning is the organization. So we are not doing like you can imagine HRD and OD. HRD will be for individuals, like that OD will be for organization. HRD will be taking the self plus self plus self plus self plus self, many selves. Whereas the unit, the single unit, which looks at development, looks at organization as a unit, not self as the unit. It looks at organization. So you intervene the organization to make it excellent. Now coming to your question, how is it different from excellence? It's nowhere connected. If my value as an organization is excellence, then the OD work that I will do in my organization, in Daimler I will be around excellence, but with a mindset that I'm still not tapping into the potential. I am with the performance. My performance, I may claim right now at Daimler that we are the best. We can claim that. I don't want to use a company example. I would rather use myself. If I am Daimler, I am saying I am excellent. As an organization, organizations are also living organizations, correct? So organization is the best. So performance-wise, I have got excellence. But do I even know, and in fact, your question is very connected with today's topic. Do I even know what I don't know? So in all my ignorance, I am saying I'm the best. But that is performance. Do I even understand potential? My potential may be 100x compared to what I am right now, but I don't know it. So I don't know what I don't know. And that's where we begin. That whole model of unconscious incompetence. And then we move to conscious incompetence. Then we move to conscious competence. And then we move to unconscious incompetence. There's a whole cycle. I don't even know that I don't know. And then suddenly I say, oh, I don't know. That's conscious. And then I attend to it. So I consciously know. And then I move into a zone of, I don't even know that I know. You must, do you drive? Senthil, do you drive? So you drive and you're chit-chatting with your person who's sitting in the navigator seat. That is unconscious competence. Because you're not consciously, but a new driver, someone who doesn't know driving, will drive very consciously. That's a conscious competence. And then one stage before that is the unconscious incompetence. I didn't even know that I didn't know. So organizations suffer from a lot of, we do benchmarking studies and we'll come automobile sector, we will compare this and that. But do we even know what the potential is? Very often the leaders in the sector are working with their potential. They're not working with their benchmarked practices. They're working with potential. They're working with the vision of being something, and that's where they land. That's where they land higher than organization excellence. Excellence is a very conscious state. It's not high consciousness. High consciousness is, I'm being my best, but I don't even know if I answered Senthil's question. It's a zone which is very different. It's in the zone of unknown. It's a zone on humility. It's a zone on really not knowing everything. Does that answer?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Senthil?
Yes, thank you.
Or have I left you confused? I'm so sorry.
No,
But
it's
we can
okay.
discuss this offline.
Right.
The excellence is a sort of a mediocre peak. I know many companies have it in their values board, organization excellence, but it's halfway because there's something unknown that you're not even tapping into. And I don't want to risk examples here, but I could give some examples, but I think that would only make the matter too complex. Yeah. So we'll just hold it. We'll talk about it offline.
Definitely. Thanks very much, Senthil, for the excellent question which you asked. And as I shared, Steve, feel free to stay connected with Dr. Sunita through the LinkedIn. And I'm sure if you have more questions, and definitely I'm sure she'll also be very happy to quickly interact and connect.
To truly develop, you have to tap into your potential. That should have been my summary answer. To truly develop, you have to tap into your potential. And potential is unknown. At any point in time, it's only in the seed. It's only in the sankalp. It's only in the intent.
True.
It's never known. You cannot see it outside.
Great. Thanks very much, Senthil. And Dr. Sunita, we have one more hands raised. In fact, Devarayan also raised the hand, but Devarayan, I'm just giving it to Kritika first, and then I'll come back to you, Devarayan.
I'll always go leave it to them.
So yes, so over to Kritika. So Kritika, please go ahead with your question.
She's
Kritika
already
Bhaskar,
typed the
raise your
question.
hand.
So Prakash, you might like to read the question because she's already typed the question.
Oh, she's already typed the question.
Taken
Oh,
the
yes,
effort,
there,
yes.
there. I'm able to see it. So good evening, this is Kritika Bhaskar, Apollo Group Hospital, Chennai. So nice to meet. Okay, this all is done. Okay, the question is here. Considering your vast experience, what would be your giveaway to the young HRs now to take from the older times? Maybe a practice which you must continue to follow. So,
Very nice question. The simple answer is please value, respect, and give dignity to each person. Every single person requires dignity. It's a deep need. And I think as we are increasing in size and shape and structure, we're forgetting that larger organizations or smaller organizations are built by people. And each person, even the tea boy, did his best for 30, 40 years for us to gain the excellence or to become the company that we are. So give dignity to each person, whatever be the level.
great. Wonderfully shared, Dr. Sunita. So that's the first primary, that's the base, is what she's saying. And that will automatically build many other values for a particular person. True. Good one. So we'll take one more question, one final question. Devarayan, I'd like to go with another question. You raised hand at that point of time, and then we'll come to an end and summary, and then we'll go to introducing our next week's leader as well.
Yeah, no problem, Prakash. Maybe if time permits, otherwise we can very well go ahead with the rest of the program.
Okay. So stay connected, always there. So
No,
thanks very
actually,
much.
that's what. If Sunita is there with the, means if Sunita is okay with the question and the timings.
Sunita,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely open with questions. I love questions. That's my breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Then Devran, please go ahead with one last question for the day, and then we come to a summary. Yes, Devran, please introduce yourself and go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice interaction, Sunita. Like, like I work for Hitachi Energy. I head compliances, HR compliances for the group of companies. And it's wonderful listening to you on unlearning, because I love unlearning. I love to learn new things, so that I unlearn so that I learn new things. So maybe the new format, maybe the old things, maybe in the new format, which I learn so many things. Like, the mobile phone which came in the first era is not now today. We have the entire computer is there in our hand. So maybe we have to unlearn so many things to learn new things. It's a very good topic. So I just wanted to ask you one thing, is creativity somehow linked with this particular topic? I just, because, I see most of my subordinates and other stuff say they do all the junk with all this SOPs. We call it as SOPs, no standard operating procedures. So, okay, we follow the SOPs, we follow this, we do this, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, are we creative to go beyond that? Is a big question, right? Like, maybe when you lost the creativity, I can sense that there is a bit of learning, that learning sense will also be not much with them. So how do you interrelate these two things?
Very, very powerful question and very deep question. And I'm so happy that we are thinking this hard, because when I follow an SOP, then I'm following something which is already known, tried, tested, known. Now you're asking a question of creativity. As a human being, as all species on this planet, we are the only creatures who have intuition and who have creativity. We are the only creature. Now, if we are one species which is special, then, and I link it to organizations, how do you disrupt something? If you're going to go with whatever is tried, and you're going to keep talking innovation, creativity, my people should create, but then I move around with this hunter and I chase you to not make even one mistake. And I don't give any lifetime in my organization to create something new. So you're falling sick, you're coming back to work, we are aggressively, leaders and managers are chasing performance. Where is the room for potency? Where is the room for potential? It is impossible. So something that I said right at the start, the spontaneity is the art of picking up an impulse and going with it. When you get an impulse, organization is not able to hold that impulse. And there were people like Steve Jobs who were able to hold the impulse. Failure, danda, nothing worked. Take away money, strip them of all their dignity and everything. Then too, they went with their madness. The madness of picking up an impulse and working with it is creativity. So we are not allowed to be mad, because organization by definition is defined. It's boundaried. You can't cross boundaries. And you're not allowed to cross boundaries, because you will disrupt your own boss first. So it's very difficult to let you be you with all your power, with all your intuition, with all your creativity. So who's responsible towards this if the organization is not? Individuals are. And why do you think we have so many startups? It's not a surprise at all. Why do you think India is just going inside out now, right now? Of course, GST is not helping these startups. GST is not going to help our entrepreneurs in India. Ask Prakash how difficult it is, to survive on your own. But yes, we do, because, so I don't know if I've answered Dev.
Yeah, actually, true. Actually, you can call me Dev, no problem.
Okay, Dev. Yeah.
You can. Okay.
I hope some beginning thought has happened. Then we can take it offline.
No problem. See, actually, see, like, I do find that is a problem in many organizations, and maybe we are trying to implement this in our own organizations, because we are not allowing people to fail, and then the creativity will not be developed at all. Because the creativity is nothing but, you try new things and you put on new thoughts and all this stuff, right? Like, maybe it may win or it may not win, but we are fear of failures, and we're not.
Dave, it's the same point of space. Na? If I cannot let Saraswati in, if I cannot create space in my organization to have disruptive, new, creative failures, how will I mean, if you don't have space to unlearn, how can you create new learning or new, how can you tap into the creativity of people? It comes back to the same place, that pace of the organization is not allowing us to create that space. So of course, this is not a play of words. This is very much from my heart, as Prakash said. I do believe that we all limit ourselves. Even organizations limit themselves. They limit themselves tremendously because of this fear of failure, or fear of not tapping into the creative energies of their employees. It's very hard for organizations. They have shareholders to report to, they have stakeholders to align with, they have customers. They can't take the risk. The risk appetite is very low. So how do we encourage organizations to create that? People like yourself, Dave, you must stand up and speak in meetings and ensure that you build those spaces for your people. That's why leadership
wherever it is possible, we are trying to implement this, because I'm a strong believer of creativity. So like maybe I'm standing for it to the extent possible. There are some limitations, but to the extent possible, even in our team and the connected teams, yes, definitely we are developing this attitude. Very good. So anyway, one last thing is like that particular 360-degree assessment. I would request Prakash to hand it over to Vinay Mishra. He was once my subordinate, and
is that so? Wow.
So it should go to the right person, sir. It's not,
anyway, I have it.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama said, between being right and kind.
Yeah.
What's your choice?
Yes.
What's their choice? And Dave, I go with you. I go with your vote.
Yes, please.
So always, Dave, based on your request, we can always share it with him as well. And I will also share it with you. And as well, Vinay also definitely share. So Vinay, congratulations as well. In fact, you wrote the right option. If by computer, if we have to go, you are the right person.
But see, as per the rules, their answer is he has given the right thing, so he deserves better than me, sir.
Okay. So anyway, I will have it. Prakash will have it. Don't worry.
Done. We'll take it up. Wonderful. Thanks very much, Dave, for that awesome question which you have asked as well. And then we take it up. So thanks very much, Dave. And I'm sure we're coming to an end of our episode. It's already 7:20. Another 5 minutes. We'll just quickly summarize, and we'll also introduce our next week's leader, and we come to the closing as well. And before the closing, each one of us over here present today will get an opportunity to introduce yourself as well, so that you will get to know each other who all are there part of the forum today. Great. So please do stay back even after the thanking videos, so that we can all have an introduction session. It will be helping each other on the same. So keeping that in mind, yes, now I would invite Mr. Nellai Nayagam. Yes, Nellai Nayagam, over to you for a quick summary. No, not Nellai, sorry, Sendil. Mr. Sendil for my mistake. Mr. Sendil, please go ahead, Sendil.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prakash. Now, once again, thank you, the complete leadership team. As the time is pressing, let me keep this summary very crisp. It started with ready to accept that we see a room for new learning. And second point is there is a space for always new learning. And how do we unlearn is the intellect requires spontaneous, like how we start our computer by rebooting it with fresh or refreshing it with a fresh memory. Same way, we need to have this kind of open mindset to move towards unconscious mind. And last is how leader need to start with beginner mind, like how Archana was mentioning in her quiz question. And in this Yuka world, we need to be always move out from our comfort zone and try to scale up in our career by focusing on unlearn. As a true leader, leap of faith is unknown and stick to known and stretch for unknown. So this is exactly the key message here. And we should be like a heroic leader and also able to work with the team around us. And last but not least, it came with the Socrates quote. The quote is, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new.
Wonderful. Wonderfully shared, Sendil. Thanks very much for the quick summary. This is helping us. So please do share the summary on the group as well.
Yeah.
And Last, we have the vote of thanks, and introducing the next week leader, I invite Mr. Silvaraj David. Yes, David.
Thanks, Prakash.
Thank you,
I can just say, wow. Dr. Sunita, it's a wow session. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and so much of inputs from you. We thank you. I'll get back to you in a little while. And before me sharing about the next week leader, let me quickly share again the purpose of the community. For the visitors who are attending first time, Leaders Connect is an online leadership community where every week on a Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m., sometimes we go over time like today, we invite a top management leader from a reputed corporate company to share the solutions for our real-time leadership challenges, either on leading self, leading others, or leading your own business, like how we have all seen Dr. Sunita handled it today. This Leaders Connect online leadership community does not stop in sharing the solutions alone every week, but we also have a reflections episode to track the learning and convert it to an action plan on the last Wednesday of every month, where we also network with the like-minded working professionals who are interested in their constant growth. That's when we call it Leaders Creating More Leaders. If you wish to join our community, please click on the WhatsApp group link, which is on your chat box, and you'll be able to join us to receive weekly updates or call us on the number shared on the WhatsApp, and then we will add you in our community. For the members, do remember to write your learning and action plan on your respective login credentials shared with you, and also connect with other members to network. And now I'm happy to introduce the next week leader, and that is Mr. Sushil Barkur, Associate Vice President from Alchem Laboratories Limited. Members who wish to be part of the panel discussion can give your names on the WhatsApp group or kindly interact with Mr. Prakash Sharma. Please do click on the below link on the chat box to register yourself for our next episode. And now it's my honor and privilege to thank Dr. Sunita. Thank you, Doctor, for your time. Thank you for your valuable inputs. Your session was just not interesting, but very impactful. And you truly spoke from the bottom of your heart, and we can feel it, and we thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you, David. Thank you. What should I call you? David Selvaraj?
Call me David, ma'am.
David, thank you, David. Really, it's lovely to see this community growing, and best wishes to everybody. I would love to participate in as an audience to future sessions. I would love it. The leadership is an ongoing subject. You have to keep learning it. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. For our guests and all the visitors and members, we have a special thanking video for you.
Great. So thank you all, and thank you, Dr. Sunita, very much for being with us here. And now is a quick introduction time. So people, we all get an opportunity to introduce yourself now for a quick 30 seconds so that people all know who we are and from which company we are. That will add more value. So Dr. Sunita, in respect of time, if you wish to stay back and then listen to all the introduction of people.
You
it's
know, I
fine.
was supposed to be there at 7 o'clock somewhere else, but I stayed back and I want to thank Arul. That's why, because
Oh
Arul,
yeah,
was
Arul is
so
always
kind.
here, and Arul is
He's
the person
handled
who spoke
everything
to you.
so well. I really appreciate, and I will see you all again. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very
Thank
much.
Thank
Dr.
you,
Sunita.
Prakash.
Thank you very much, and very
Thank
nice meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
So yes, over to all the members and the new people who have joined us today, so that one by one we all give an opportunity to introduce yourself, and then we take it from there. So let me also stop recording so that it's easier for us to highlight the people who all are being speaking. So let's go one by one. So we have Vinay Mishra. So yes, Vinay. So please go ahead to introduce yourself first. And I appreciate the gesture of keeping your video on throughout your episode. I really appreciate that. Let's give hands to Vinay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Good
Vinay.
evening.
Over to you. Kindly unmute yourself, Vinay.
Yes, yes. Hope I'm unmute. Hope I'm
Yes.
audible. Thank
Yes,
you very
you
much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Advocate Vinay Mishra.